Losing a job can be overwhelming, and figuring out unemployment compensation can add even more stress. Understanding who qualifies for benefits, how to avoid common mistakes, and what to do if your claim is denied make a big difference. Joining us now is Patrick Haney, supervising attorney in the Economic Justice Practice Group with the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland, to provide some helpful tips and advice. Patrick, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
What are for someone who just lost their job, what's the first thing they should know about filing for unemployment compensation in Ohio?
So I think the first thing people need to understand is that this system is out here and that it covers a lot of workers who have just lost their jobs. I talk to a lot of people who think about wage issues, discrimination issues, and those issues are out there. But often the first thing I'll tell folks is if you've lost your job, apply for unemployment. Because that's money that can support you right away.
Some people out there might think this doesn't apply to me, but you never know unless you try, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct, and it costs nothing to apply. There's no court filing fee, like you would see in like a court case. It's free to apply, and you submit your application to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services.
What are some common reasons someone might get denied unemployment benefits, and are they mistakes that can be corrected?
So yes and no. So I think it helps to go through the three main components of eligibility. The first is the monetary side. You have had to work so many weeks with so many wages to be eligible for unemployment. And typically on that issue, the department's not going to make mistakes. As long as all the wages have been reported to the department, like they're reported to tax authorities, then that determination will generally come back correct. The requirement that we see the most dispute over is whether there was a disqualifying separation. A disqualifying separation is when somebody has been fired without just cause, and I would say that's the most common reason people are eligible. You can also become unemployed because of a layoff, and when you're unemployed because of a layoff, that's also a disqualifying separation. Employers will submit stuff to unemployment too, and so that initial determination on just cause and disqualifying separation can be wrong. And so that is something we could talk more that you can appeal. And then the final component is unemployment is not disability insurance. You have to be able and available for work. And so every week you will submit claims to substantiate that you are available and able for suitable work, work that's comparable to what you were doing before. And that's something that you could be ineligible for 1 week if you weren't available for work for that week, but then that gets resolved the next week if you are available for work the next week.
Now, you did say there is an appeals process if you are denied. What does that look like, and how long do people have to act on that?
Correct. So the big thing, 21 days for any step in the appeal process. Your appeal deadline should also be put into any determination that you receive. But the biggest thing, these cases move quick. 21 days is not a lot of time. So if you get a determination that you think you may want to appeal, look to appeal that right away.
Are there types of workers, I'm thinking gig workers, part-time, those who are fired versus laid off, that might have extra hurdles in getting these benefits?
So yes, and actually each one of those will have different hurdles. Mm-hmm. For part-time workers, there's going to be a question of whether you meet monetary eligibility. If you do meet monetary eligibility though, then you'll face the same process as everybody else. The gig worker issue is something that comes up quite a bit, especially now as a lot of employers try to treat more workers as independent contractors, mm-hmm. not as employees. And that's ultimately a question for the unemployment department to decide. And so while your employer might treat you as an independent contractor, you may be viewed as an employee for purposes of unemployment. If you were an independent contractor, you will not be eligible for benefits. But if you were an employee in the eyes of the folks at unemployment and the Unemployment Compensation Review Commission, then you're eligible.
How can they get in contact with the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland?
Great question. You can call us at 888-817-3777. You can also check out our website, lasclev.org. We do a lot of brief advice clinics throughout the area, throughout Cuyahoga County, Lorain County, Lake County, Ashtabula, and Geauga. I believe we have one coming up on August 1st on Kinsmid Road, the Mount Pleasant Library branch. And we do those pretty regularly because we want to be out in the community. We want folks to be able to come to us if they're not able to reach us through phone or through online as well.
Well, Patrick Haney, Legal Aid Society of Cleveland, thank you so much for joining me today. Very important topic. Everyone should know about it if they're in this situation. So thank you so much.